I evaluate a woman's value to the table when she wants to date me by going through a mental checklist with her. I've urged many of my friends to follow my system as a precautionary measure to stay away from worthless ladies. They describe me as a sociopath and too demanding. So I like to provide you a condensed version of my checklist. If I said I hadn't used this list to persuade myself that the majority of women aren't worth my time or effort, I'd be lying. I realize this sounds conceited, but I have a house, a car, and a job of my own. So I'm in a good position to be conceited. Here is a condensed list of those items. Does she provide more to my life than just her genitalia? First, being single increases my life. I want her to have distinctive personality traits that go well with mine. Second, does she have a separate existence from mine, including a home, car, and interests? Third, is she aware that I won't give up my ambitions and dreams in order to win her approval? I won't give up something dumb I enjoy doing in just to appease her or for financial benefit. Fourth, does she think less of me? I won't. Also a liar. Not a single lady has passed it to my satisfaction since I started utilizing this list. By preventing these women, I've stayed out of many terrible situations. Please share your tuning with me, or if you believe it to be unnecessary and silly. Yes, by constantly massaging my palms, and in the way you may imagine, my hands are getting healthier. But now I want to move on to this subject. Does she contribute anything but her Due to the requirement that males hold employment, there is a double standard. But he's a lousy man if he insists she has more than $1,000 in savings. Contrasting standards, one of my pals, who has over $1 million and has paid off property in my buddies, and I frequently discuss this. And even though we all discuss how much money we have saved and how we have paid off our cars, sometimes women will glance at one of my buddies and comment that it isn't the newest model of a BMW. He was humiliated by a woman for not driving the newest vehicle. She has the audacity to criticize him despite not even owning a car. A makeup-covered vanity, credit card debt, no assets, school loan debt for a useless marketing degree, no cooking abilities, and perhaps a child from a prior relationship, in my opinion, pretty much sum up your checklist. If she has a retirement account, it is typically tied to her employer and not at her discretion. You might also have to take care of a stray animal that she owns. Most single women would be destitute if people were obliged to live within their means. She normally only brings her reproduction and her meat drapes. I wouldn't change anything on your list. When my guy goes on dates, he learns that many of the women have no assets, while he has more than $500,000. So if he inquires as to what they are bringing to the table, she promised to manage his finances and construct a house for him. He claims he already has one and doesn't want a lady who moves in with them to force herself into his garage or basement. It seems like you're getting more and more different types of sex, Bucky. Since you have items that they want, they believe you fell in love with them and gave it to them because you are holding it out in front of them like a carrot. In your questions to me, you indicated that people who you told about your dating rules describe you as a psychopath. I had no idea that being a man with standards these days is psychopathic. But a lady is only being wise that she has high standards. You're probably getting comments from both sexes about how demanding you are and how you need to man up and do what's best for the group. Men who use checklists are misogynists who despise all women, but women can use them too, because they undoubtedly fell for the same scam. Your pals are morons and urge you to settle for a fat hog beast that will wreck your life. They now want to see you endure the same suffering. They are envious of the fact that you have more sex with men than they do, that you have complete freedom, and that your wealth is increasing. And now they are confined to their homes, helping a hand beast that orders them around. She didn't have a place of her own. Additionally, if she owned a car, it was probably brand new and either on lease or frequently needed to be paid off debt. Located there. In the area I reside in, a typical detached home costs roughly $1 million. But the strange thing is that when one of my friends went on a date with a lady who claimed she wanted to get married and own a home in a few years but was a secretary, he asked her how she was going to do it, and she flatly refused. And a man's value, in terms of future earnings, peaks in his mid to late 30s or later. Even with a debt, if he owns the property, it is an asset that will increase in value. Savings accounts work in a similar manner. Her stock is declining while his is rising. She believes that a hostile merger will keep her out of debt and out of destitution. The few women I've met who had thousands of dollars saved appear to have taken a beating from an ugly stick. They were aware that they couldn't rely on men to save them. They work hard to save money for their own retirement plans as a result. Even though it's a remote possibility, Most women believe they are attractive or pretty, and as a result they believe they will be saved when sexual technology become available in the future. Bucky, you're right. You shouldn't waste your time or effort on most women. Usually, you can determine this based on the list you made after the first or second date. She must be dumped if she has no assets. You need to consider her lifestyle in relation to her actual income. Typically, identifying a person's employment or employer online will allow you to determine their pay. To help us, please watch this video. Please subscribe and send this video to anybody you think will benefit from it the most.